My name is Claire. I'm 24. And this happened 2 winters ago, when I still lived in a small town outside Columbus, Ohio. I'd been babysitting for the Reyes family for almost a year at that point. 2 kids, 6 and 9, sweet family. Nothing weird ever happened. That Friday, they asked me to stay overnight because they had a wedding out of state and wouldn't be back until Saturday afternoon. I said yes without thinking twice. I'd stayed late plenty of times before. The kids went to bed around 9. I was on the couch with my laptop, half watching a movie, half scrolling my phone when I heard a knock. Not on the front door, on the sliding glass door in the kitchen. The one that faces the backyard. I froze. Nobody uses that door. It doesn't even have a doorbell. They never found who it was. I walked over slowly and the blinds were open just enough that I could see there was no porch light back there, just black. I stood a few feet from the glass and asked, "Hello?" No answer. I told myself it was probably a branch or a raccoon knocking something over. Then it knocked again, 3 times, deliberate, like a person. I went and checked on the kids first, both asleep, door locked from my side. Then I called the dad. He picked up half asleep, sounded confused, said nobody was supposed to be near the house and to call the police if it happened again. I sat in the hallway between the kids' rooms with the kitchen light off so I couldn't be seen from outside, and I waited. 15 minutes of nothing. Then I heard footsteps on the deck, slow, circling toward the side gate. I heard the gate latch lift. That's when I called 911. The dispatcher kept me on the line while a patrol car came. When they arrived, the officer walked the perimeter with a flashlight and found the gate open. We always kept it latched, and shoe prints in the flower bed under my bedroom window, not the kitchen door. Whoever it was had circled the entire house before I ever heard the first knock. They never found who it was. I'm Marcus, 29, and this happened in my old apartment building in Atlanta. 3rd floor, stairwell access unit, no elevator. I mentioned it to my neighbor across the hall, an older woman named Diane. She got quiet and told me that wasn't anyone who lived in the building. She'd seen him too, always at night, always on that landing. And once she saw him standing at the door of an apartment that had been empty for 6 months, just standing there with his hand flat on the door, like he was listening. After that, I started taking the elevator in the next building over and cutting through the parking garage, adding maybe 10 extra minutes to avoid that stairwell. About a month later, I saw a notice taped in the lobby about a burglary 2 floors up, forced entry through a window, nothing consistent with the front door locks. I moved out 4 months after that. I never saw the man again after Deanne told me. But I also stopped using the stairs, so I can't say if he stopped being there or if I just stopped being around to see him. I'm Sarah, 31. This happened 3 summers ago when 4 of us went camping near a lake up in northern Michigan. A spot pretty far off the main road, the kind of place you need a truck to actually reach. First night was completely normal. Campfire, drinks, nothing unusual. Around 2 a.m., I woke up because our dog, a border collie named Otis, was standing at the tent flap growling low. Not barking, just this constant low growl, staring at the zipper. It nudged my husband awake. He unzipped the flap a couple inches and looked out. He said there was nothing there, but Otis wouldn't stop. Eventually, the growling stopped and we went back to sleep, chalked it up to a deer or a raccoon near the food. The next morning, we found something that didn't fit that explanation. A neat line of small stones arranged in a straight row about 10 feet from our tent. Stones that hadn't been there the day before, and none of the 4 of us had put them there. We asked at the ranger station later that day, mostly as a joke, and the ranger's face changed. He said there'd been a couple of reports from that same stretch of campsites over the years. People finding rocks arranged near their tents overnight. Nothing ever stolen, nobody ever seen. He recommended we move to a site closer to the main lot for the second night, which we did. We packed out a day early. Otis wouldn't go near that first campsite again the whole rest of the trip. Wouldn't even walk in that direction on a leash. We haven't been back to that lake since.